Hello everyone, welcome to aiyksource. I'm Ike, and I particularly want to make it abundantly clear to you that you're in the right place to make yourself at home. We're presently doing a series which I call Staff Profile Management System. Basically, we're building a system through which organizations, staff members can upload their profiles and just keep detailed information about themselves. It's gonna be a fun series, I promise. So I'll encourage that you tighten up your seatbelt. In today's video, we are going to start building the sign-in system. So let's get straight into it. I'm going to create a new file, and I'm going to save it as login.php. Make sure that I'm right here at the spms folder. So login.php. Do ensure that in the save as type here you have all files selected and nothing else. Alright, and I'm going to save. Now for the markup of our styling page, this is all we are going to be doing. Declare our doc type, open up our HTML tags, open up our head tags right here, then create the title of spms, which stands for Staff Profile Management System. We are going to create a link to CSS files which we haven't created yet. We are going to create very soon. That's the main.css, which affects the general project, and then the login.css, which is specific to this login page. In the body tags, we are going to create a div, and this div has a class of container. Now it is the major wrapper that wraps everything in the system. Moving forward, we have another div, and this is the div that holds the logo for the system. So in the div we just have an image tag, which is the logo.png. So I'm going to go ahead and paste in our logo in our images folder. Just realized I don't have that image yet, so in the images folder I'm going to paste this in. This is the logo we are going to be using. I also will want to have a transparent copy of this for the background, and not just transparent. Okay, I would want to have a transparent and a tinted copy. So what I'm going to do in Photoshop is to, first of all, let's see right here, I'm going to change this to black and white, and then an opacity of maybe 5. Let's make this 7. So I'm gonna save forward. Alright, good enough. I'll be saving as png24. Keep the transparency checked. Save. I'm going to navigate to our images folder. So into WAMP www spms images. I'm going to save this as bg.png, so it's our background image. So bg.png. Now I'll save. Good. Now that we have our images, I would go on with our markup. After the logo up top, next we have a history element, just bearing the title of the project or the header for the project. Moving forward, we have our login. In the login div, the first thing we've done is to open up a PHP tag where we have options to echo out errors should in case the user keys in maybe wrong usernames or doesn't fill in everything in the form, or leaves out some field empty. We just display errors to this div right here. It's a class of error. Next up, we have a span, which is just bearing a text. System login is just the little text underneath, like a header for the login div or login box, as the case might be. Afterwards, underneath we have our form, our login form right here. It's of a method of post, and the action goes back to the same page, which is our login page. So in essence, we'll be handling the post right here in this page. So that is going to be the next thing we do. We could do the CSS styling first, afterwards come back and handle our post. Well, in the login form, we just have two elements. We have the username, the password, and then a submit button. Now that's it for the markup of the login page. Let's go ahead and style this page so it looks pretty. I'm gonna go ahead and create a new file. I'll save this as main.css. So in the CSS folder, I'm gonna save it as main.css, and these are the rules we are going to apply in our main files for now. To every element in the page, we are taking off margin and padding, taking out every text decoration and list style type. To the body element, we're just adding a font family of this. To our container elements, remember we have a div with the class of container right here. I'm going to give it a relative position, width of 100%, background color of this light gray, a background image of the BG which we just created from Photoshop. We are going to make sure that the background doesn't repeat, so set background repeat to no repeat. Background position, drop it at the center. Padding 0 from the top, 0 from the left, 2 from the bottom, and 0 from the right. Okay, margin of 5 top and bottom, 0 left and right. Now, logged in user, this we haven't created yet. Once we do the PHP parts, which is the next thing we are gonna do, and the user successfully logs in, we are going to echo out some additional information to the page, which includes the login username, so that you can have something like welcome Ike and stuff like that. So this is the styling for that, which we are going to be echoing out later. We give it an absolute position, 5 pixels from the top and 20% from the right. The font size of 14 pixel. Now this anchor tag is going to be a link for the user to sign out of the system. In essence, you're going to have welcome Ike, then you give a sign out link, sign out. So that anchor tag, we are giving it a color of this, text decoration of underline, font style of italic, and a padding of 2 pixels. Now the main header, which is this right here, the one that says staff profile management system, we are aligning it to the center, giving it a font size of 30 pixels and a font weight of 100. Alright, the subheader, which is this little guy right here, subhead system login, they are giving it a display type of inline block, a width of 100% of its container, which is the login wrapper, aligning the text to the center, giving it a font size of 20 pixels, font weight of 100, and this shade of color. Now for our main logo, we're saying that the width should be 80 pixels, a height of 80 pixels, so it's a perfect square, a margin of 0 pixel, and also which is going to center the elements to its containing element, margin top of 10 pixels, overflow hidden, and a margin, taking this off, a margin top of 40 pixels. Good. Now the image tag in our main logo, we are saying that it has a width of 8 pixels, just like the div does right here, and a margin top of 10 pixels. Good. Now for all of our input elements, our text input elements, password input elements, email input elements, and any input element with an ID of any element with an ID of access. We're displaying then block, giving a width of this 500 pixel, a height of 40 pixel, giving it a border of this shade. I think I want to change the shade. I want it to be a blue shade, so from Photoshop I'm going to pick a shade. This looks nice. Let me go with this. So I'll copy, come back to Sublime, and paste this in right here. A margin of 10 pixels from the top and the bottom, also from the left and the right. A padding of 2 pixels top and bottom, 6 pixels from the left and the right. Now we're giving this box sizing border box. Once you've given a specific dimension to your elements, say specific width and height, usually if you add padding or margin, it increases the width and height of that element by the amount of padding and margin added to the elements. But once you add box sizing border box, instead of increasing the width, it takes the padding or margin from within the width which you've already defined. So I wouldn't want any of these elements to go above the defined width and height. That's why I'm giving this box sizing style right here. Okay, a font size of 18 pixels and a font width of 100 pixels. For our labels, it have a margin length of 10%. Now we are creating a dot button class for all of our button elements, and in this class we are just displaying block, margin of 15 pixels from the top and the bottom, also from the left and the right, a width of 120 pixels, a height of 30 pixels, and a background color of this border of 0 pixel. Now for the error class which we displayed earlier right here, we are saying that the text be aligned to the center, color of red for the text, the background color of this shade, a width of 80% of its container, a margin of 10 pixels top and bottom, and then also from the left and right. Then we're giving it a padding of 10 pixels from the top and the bottom, 3 pixels from the left and the right. Well, that's everything we'll be doing for the main.css. We are going to need another CSS file, which is the login.css. So I'm going to create a new file. So in my CSS folder, I'm going to login.css and save. We won't be doing too much here. All we'll be styling is the login wrapper and the container. Okay, the reason why I'm having container here again is because remember how I told you that the container is what is going to wrap the entire project. It's going to be a wrapper for the entire project. And also remember how we've given it a margin. Alright, for the login.css, I would want that container to come down a little bit to like half the page, or maybe a quarter of the page. So that's why I'm now overwriting the margin top styling from within login.css, so that when we are in the login page and have included this login.css, this rule is going to apply. Alright, and I'm going to save. Let's try to view what our page looks like. So I'm going to go to localhost. I'm going to go to SPSS, right? Staff profile management system and login.php. This is what we have. Okay. Nice. I think it's good enough. Yeah. Good enough, good enough, good enough. Alright then, let's go ahead to make the system smart. Back in our login page, we are going to handle the PHP aspects so that once the post comes in, this page handles that post. So opening and closing a PHP tag, we have all of this. We're going to start a session. In essence, you're going to create a session that is going to follow the user through every page on the system, and that session is going to validate and verify that this user is indeed logged into the system. Alright, then after creating starting the session, we're going to create and include, we're going to include our config file which we created earlier. So we're going to connect our database, then we are going to check if the user has logged in before. So if this session has been created, access, we are going to head the user to the sign out page, which we are going to create in a minute. So we are only checking if a user is logged in and then still trying to log in. So if a user is indeed logged in, we are going to log the user out and then direct him back to the sign in page. So if the submit button is clicked, we are saying that this username variable be assigned the value of the username input field. This password variable be assigned a hashed. So we are now picking the password from the input field and then hashing it with the MD5 algorithm and then passing that hashed password into our variable password. So if not empty username, if the username contains something, and if the password also contains something, it means we have data we can work with. So we go ahead to create our query. So we say query equal to db. This db we created in our config file right here. It's our connection string. So we say db get row. So we select username and the access from the members table where username is equal to the username that came in from our input field and password is equal to the password that came in from our input field. Good. Now if this query that we just ran is equal to 1, so if it returns a data or something, we are saying that username is equal to what came in from the query and access is equal to what came in from the query. Now if not empty username and not empty access, these things that we've just assigned from our query, we are now saying that sessions be created with these variables, and we're naming the first session user, passing the username to the user session, and creating another session access and passing the user access level. Now this access level is going to help us know what privileges our user has. So it's based on the access level that we are going to know what options to display to the user that is logged in. For this system, I'm proposing we use 2 access level, but we are going to see as we go on if there's need for more. We are definitely going to inculcate it. Afterwards, we are going to kill the connection to the database and then redirect the logged in user to the index page, which we haven't created yet, but we will create in time. Else, if this query returns 0 results, it means that we have wrong login credentials. The user have typed in something wrongly, so we display an error message. Else, if this username and password field are empty, which all fields are required. So if either of them is empty or both of them, we now display an error message telling the user that all fields are required. So I'm going to save and we are going to test, see what we've done so far. Refresh the page. Good. But we don't have any user created, so I'm going to go into the database and insert our first user. First name, say Ike, last name, so maybe I capitalize this, so Ike, username, password. I'm going to use password, and I'm going to make sure I hash this with MD5 right here. Email system.com. Access level, I'm going to give this one being the highest privileged level. Then this time I'm just going to click on all of these and go. Nice. Now that we have a user, I can refresh and then password and log in. So if we are in the index page, it means we logged in successfully. We were redirected to the index page, which we haven't created, which is why we are having this not found. That's good news. But if now, notice what happened. I tried going back to the login page, but I already have my session created, so it's redirecting me to a sign out page which we haven't created, so it's also not finding that page. So that's the next thing we are going to do, create the sign out page. I'm going to head back to my text editor and I'm going to create a new file. I'll save this as signout.php. Save. And all we'll be doing here is just to start session and then destroy all session and then relocate the user back to the login.php file. So I'm going to save, and the next time I come to refresh, it brings us back to the login.php. So it logs us out automatically. So if I use a wrong username, or if I have this blank not filled and I try to submit, this error message pops up, all fields are required. Okay, what if I use a wrong username? What happens when I try to log in? You get this error message, wrong login credentials. This is nice, really nice. Alright then, that's all we are going to be covering for this video. In the next video we are going to be creating the add member page. So in essence we are going to be making it possible to add a new member from our system, from the front end, instead of doing it from the back end like I did with mine. So we're going to be doing that in the next video. It's going to be fun, so I would encourage that you make it a date. Alright, thanks for sticking around, thanks for watching. I want to encourage you to please subscribe to this channel. Like I always say, it's a community, so I would want you to be a part of the community. Make sure you hit the subscribe button and join in the fun. Leave your comments, leave your questions, leave your contributions. All of the source code for the project so far I'm going to upload, or have uploaded to GitHub. So I'm going to leave a link down below to the GitHub repo. So you can visit the repository and download this file, play around with it, make any changes you feel is worth making. If there are any mistakes I've made, go ahead and correct them. Create your local branch, make your changes, and then send them back to the master branch. I'm going to review every change that comes in, not alone with you guys via video tutorials. We are going to review them, and changes that are worth committing we are going to commit into the project, and then credit will go back to whoever made those changes. Alright, I also want to encourage that you share and like these videos. Share the videos with friends, with colleagues, with people you think would want to know or would have interest in what we do. Go ahead and share. I want to thank you for tuning in. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.